I disagree.
Okay, sure.
Because some people think that Andrew Tate is a high value man, but I wouldn't consider him to be a high value man. So if he was to co-sign me as a high value woman, it would mean nothing to me because I don't see him in that light.
Okay.
Hurrah!
Fair assessment, but this is where I disagree with you. Being high value doesn't necessarily deal with morality. Does he have status? Does he have respect from peers? Does he have respect? I mean, in his case, he has respect worldwide. He has financial success, right? We could take it a step further. Trained martial artist, 4-time kickboxing world champion.
Yep.
On paper, he's absolutely high value.
Yep.
Now, and any woman that gets with him is going to acquire the Tate last name and be high value as a byproduct of it. So though he might not be your cup of tea, it's pretty irrefutable that he is a high value man.
But if you
because he's high value in the metrics that make a man have value in the world. So a man's value is 1,000% determined by the impact that they create in the world.
Yeah.
Right. A man's last name only carries value if he's able to change other people's lives to some degree. That's why people that are lawyers, doctors, celebrities to a degree, etc., they have value and status from their accomplishments, and that is where their value comes from. People respect them, etc. So men, we acquire value much differently than women do. We acquire it through status. You guys acquire it through beauty. And then being able to get a man that has status. Now, some women are able to go ahead and get status on their own, right? You have 3 PhDs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, PhD.
Educated, etc. But unfortunately, that's the equivalent to a man being extremely metrosexual, extremely good looking, but broke. Because even though he's attractive and he's beautiful, that is not a commodity that women seek. Just like a woman that has education, status, and income, that is not a commodity that men generally
No, you're
seek.
right. Because in Miami, I just moved to Miami. I mean, literally, I go to you can go to any store in the mall, Forever 21, H&M, Zara. The women working at the cash register literally are like the most beautiful women you've ever seen in your life. I'm like, are you like a Victoria's Secret, Brazilian supermodel?
And
she's high value. She's not educated.
Well, she's not high value unless she gets a high value man.
Well, she will though, looking like that.
Yeah, if she can. If she can land him and get his last name, because they could get fucked. But can she get his last name?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm really happy that I have you guys on the panel because you guys are higher IQ. Let me tell you from experience of being here, most women are absolutely retarded in Miami. I can't have discussions like this
Trust me,
with
I know.
them. You're very educated, well-spoken, etc., able to articulate your points. You, from a cognitive level, are better than most women. However, a lot of these women that you're way smarter than will beat you to get one of these guys because they might be more attractive or younger. Because men typically don't care about a woman's education or status. Even though you work really hard to acquire these things, these are male metrics of success, unfortunately. Which is why I tell successful women all the time is like, that's great. It's awesome. You can have a great conversation with a guy. He might be intrigued, but are you going to beat out the 21-year-old model? It's going to be tough.
So then how does that add value to the 21-year-old model? Because you said the other guy has to co-sign for her. So if that's who he chooses, but yet she doesn't have no IQ or no education, then how does that make her a high value woman?
Well, he can make her into his woman and make her the best girlfriend for him. That's why leadership is so important for men.
Look at it this way, like Donald Trump. Everyone been know who Donald Trump is, but who did we know Mrs. Trump until this man was president? Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? But kind of it's.
Hold on, I'll take it a step further, real quick, just because you just mentioned a good point. Monica Lewinsky became famous off of sucking a high value man's dick. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. That happened almost 30 years ago. We still know her name to this day.
So,
intern, 18 years old. She got her status simply from sucking a high value man's dick. If that does not prove that women acquire status through men, I don't know what else does.
That's your point, Kim Kardashian. Ray J.
Yeah.
I hit it first. Famous. And real quick, you considered Andrew not high value. So who would you consider high value?
I like Drake.
I'm done. Are you serious? I like Drake. But come on, bro.
Wait. So why do you like Drake though?
Drake.
His songs or tell me.
No, I feel like I relate to his music. So the things that he says,
So
even if he doesn't write it, but I feel like I relate.
So,
and he's a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio.
It sounds like you just
you're a Scorpio.
you fucks with him or you fuck with him being high value because you like him. That's a very opinionated statement. Back to the Andrew Tate thing, this is not shame. Keep in mind, I get anyone can go anywhere and say, "Oh yeah, Andrew Tate." Da, 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 da. It may be shit. It may be really good, but if I were to go to the streets of Orlando and say your name, they'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" So that's kind of what he's saying. High value. In other words, it doesn't mean people have to like him. It doesn't mean people have to hate him. That's what he's known for. Whatever he's known for is putting his fucking name out and getting him paid.
extreme example, and I really hate to say this. It actually pains me to say this. Jeffrey Epstein on paper is a high value man. Even though he's a deplorable individual, he is a high value man on paper. Because when we're talking about high value, we're not talking about morality. And that's arguable, whatever. But when you look at status, income, what he's done, even though he got his status through some bullshit and money, you can argue on paper that he is so like, not to liken Drake or Tate to him, but I'm just showing that as an extreme example of like high value really doesn't have to do with morality. Because you're going from an opinion standpoint. I don't like Andrew Tate, or I don't consider him a high value man because I might not like his views. But Drake and Tate are both high value, and I would argue Tate has more of a positive impact on the world than Drake does. I mean, Drake hasn't really saved guys from offing themselves.
If you
or
notice,
anything like that.
it's how he makes her feel.
Yeah.
So that's what's driving her high value status.
Yeah, but objectively speaking,
that's why
both Drake and Andrew Tate are high value men. But I would argue that Tate has more impact from a positive standpoint than Drake. Though Drake is a musician, cool. Yeah, okay, yeah, you got me. I'm in my feelings. But Andrew Tate's keeping guys from killing themselves.
I like them both, but
well, isn't that
Drake is
morality though? Like he's doing stuff somewhat moral because you're saying a positive impact.
Yeah.
Right. So it is moral in a sense.
I mean, to a degree, but he's creating more impact in the world overall. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but like somebody who has money and donates it and is charitable, right? I would consider that more of a high value man who just like takes all of his money and doesn't, I guess, share it or like put it towards anything positive.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's arguable. It's debatable. That's why Epstein donated to charities. Unfortunately, he did. He did. Even though it was all like kind of a scheme to get the money back, he donated to charities.
Chris, who would you consider to be a high value man?
I mean, a man who actually creates value into the world. He can raise his family properly, and just make sure that his lifestyle is on point. Because at the end of the day, if you're struggling paying bills as a man, then are you really high value? Mm-hmm. So if you have a family and you're like, it depends on what goals you have. If you actually acquiring those goals and you're happy, making 6 figures, able to feed those you care about, isn't that high value to you? Because some girls, like for example, some girls go, "Yeah, my high value guy he makes 6 figures a year," and then some girl down on South Beach can say, "Oh, a high value guy is a millionaire," you know what I'm saying? So it all depends on what's going on. But if you're high value, man, you gotta be able to take care of your circle.
Yeah, and I think a big part of being high value also is having respect from your peers. That's a big one. Yeah. Right? Like you got. Do other men want to be you? Do other men respect you? Are your accolades like known to others without you having to say it? Like, does your reputation speak for itself in a positive way to a degree?
I'm curious, real quick though. Would you consider your current guy high value?
I would, and it's based on morals and values. Like we have a really aligned morals and values.
Where is he now?
He's in LA.
Okay, doing what?
Right now he's probably I don't know.
Question for you. If that's the premise and you're happy with this, and I think you are, can he cheat?
I would hope that he wouldn't.
But if he cheated, would you leave?
I would strongly consider it. I mean, we'd have to renegotiate our arrangement.
I mean,
okay.
And I think that intimacy is precious and it's sacred. And I think that
he's
share
fucking.
To share it with me.
Sorry, it's a daddy and everything, but he out LA.
That's not her dad, bro.
Oh.
Her dad lives in Paris. Yeah.
Paris. Hey, bro. They fucking.
Does that answer what you had before?
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean,
move on.
And Andrew does donate to charity too.
He does
actually. I know
Ukraine, other charities as well. Yeah. I mean, he's
full disclosure. He's a friend of ours, which is why we're a bit biased. Right? Okay. But he's a personal friend of ours. So shout out to the Tate brothers. We all know those lies. Those charges. Are
Any questions, comments? You want to bring up at the very beginning or?